Hi there and welcome to today's video tutorial. My name's Julie Kettlewell and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in West Yorkshire in the UK, and I'm based at my craft studio, the Paper Haven studio in Farsley. Now today I'm going to share with you a project that I made last year, which was based on a bag by Caroline Hallett, and this is last year's version, which is made with 2 pieces of 12 by 12 designer series paper. Now unfortunately Caroline is no longer a Stampin' Up demonstrator and has removed her YouTube video on how to make this. So I decided to do a video so I can share. I've had a couple of customers ask me how to make it. So I'm going to do a new one with the new papers that we have in the spring summer catalogue, and I am loving this bundle. It's the Cool Treats suite, and I just love the really fresh and exciting colours, and of course Pool Party is part of it, so any papers with Pool Party are always a winner with me. The papers are called Tasty Treats, so we're going to use these papers, and you do actually need 2 pieces of 12 by 12. So there's really no room for error with this, because you do get 2 of each design in the normal designs, but there's only 1 of each of the speciality. What we're going to do is we're going to cut a little bit off the bottom of the paper. We're going to cut 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the paper. I'll try and do this so you can... Now when I'm cutting a small measurement, I tend to do it at this side here on the trimmer. So I'm just going to take off 3/4 of an inch. Ta-da! And on the other piece. Now everything that I do on this tutorial, we do it twice on both pieces, yeah? So we've cut off 2 pieces, and they are going to be the handles of the bag, and I'm just going to pop those to one side. So whilst the paper is still that way around, when you've cut off your handles, you want to do some scoring. And these are the measurements that we're going to score. We're going to score at 1 1/4 inch from each end. Now don't score too hard, because this is DSP. And I've had in class where ladies have scored through. Now at this side, we're coming in 1 1/4. It's actually on 11 1/4 there, so we're going to score at 10. Okay, so it's still coming in at 1 1/4. So we're going to do that on both pieces. Now you then decide which way, what design you want on the outside. Do you want it to be all the ice creams, or do you want the stripes? I want it to be ice creams, and I want the stripes showing, so I would fold it that way. However, clearly the ice creams have to go a certain way up. So if you wanted it to be stripes, but you wanted the ice creams to show, you're not going to take it from the top, because the ice creams will be upside down. You would actually go from the bottom and then turn it that way, and that will be the top of your bag. I hope that makes sense. That doesn't matter for me, because I'm doing the other one. So I'm going to fold over both pieces. Okay, I'm going to fold just on the top. You can actually fold the bottom one back the other way, so you actually don't do that yet, because we've got some scoring to do. So once you've folded the tops over, we're going to glue those down. Okay. Tombow is always usually my glue of choice. Ta-da! So you don't need to use loads. That's what I like about Tombow. Okay, so they're both glued down. Now when they're glued down, you're going to put them back in your scoreboard, and you simply scored. And I have to say, we're obviously on the inches, we're not on there's no metric today, and we're going to score at half, 1 1/2 and 2. So when you're scoring from this end, just be careful. It's quite hard to get in there, and I did do a little faux pas then. So that's half, then 1 1/2 and 2. No, that's wrong. I've just read that to you wrong. It's half, 1 1/4 and 2. So please ignore me. I've not changed the measurements. Half, 1 1/4 and 2. And what will happen is, just ignore that dodgy one there. You got your half, your 1 1/4 and your 2. So you end up with a 1/2 inch gap, a 3/4 and another 3/4. Hope that makes sense. I'll do the second one correctly. So even I get it wrong. I'd not changed my my writing. I'd not read it properly. So it's half, 1 1/4 and 2. Okay, that's all the scoring done. Hope you do better than I did. What we're going to do now is we are going to create a little tab for our bags. So we've got this score line. We're going to cut up to this bottom score line and we're going to take out this bottom rectangle because we don't need it. Okay, and then we want to make these 2 pieces into a tab. So I'm going to cut them slightly on an angle there. You'll see it better in a minute. Okay, so it's going to look like that. All right, and we'll do that on exactly the same piece. Now, when I did this in a class last year, the one thing that went wrong, people were being very, very clever. They were being intelligent, and they thought that if we scored it on the same side, that it wouldn't work. So on the second piece, they tended to score at the other side, and that isn't the right way to do it. You need to score both at the same side, and you think, well, how is it going to work? How is it going to fold together? And I'll show you how it folds together. So we're going to fold that first one that way. Then we fold this one back to make like the gusset side of the bag, and then we fold that one over. And we've got that. Okay, then we do exactly the same on the other piece. And be careful to fold the correct score line there. So we've now got 2 pieces and they've both got gussets, scores at the same side. And basically what we're going to do, they are literally just going to attach like this at each end. And you can actually do them flat. So I'll show you how I'm going to do this. With this one, on this size, it's actually quite a nice width of tab. So I'm going to take a piece of our tear and tape and I'm going to run that down here. Peel it off. And I'm going to line this up with that there. And that's adhered together. And then I'm going to do the same at the other side. Now, just be careful when you're using tape because you've not got as much wiggle room as you do have with Tombow. So just be careful, but I'm quite happy with that. Then we have our bag. Well, we have the top of it. Then what we're going to do for the bottom, these tabs that we made are going to come in, and literally that just seals like that. Now it doesn't cover the whole piece, so I'm going to put some tape on the underside there. Like so. And then that is going to come over and stick down there, and then we can get our hand in to make sure. And that's stood up nicely. So what we're going to do with the handles, we have the handles. Now you can choose whether to have them that way, but obviously the ice creams are on the side then. So I think I'm going to go for stripy, and I think the easiest way to do this would be to put the tape on the bag here. So I love the tear and tape. I'm going to come in about 1.5 inches. I'm just doing this. You could obviously use your grid paper to measure it. I don't know if you can, well, you probably can tell from this video, but it's very cold in the UK today. I've got a big jumper on, and I've also got a scarf, big scarf, woolly scarf around my neck, which is quite amusing. So I think it was -1 when I drove to work today. So you can choose to do your handle that way, or you can flip it and have it that way. And I think I'm going to do it that way. This one. So I've done one. Then obviously you've got the other handle in place on this one, so you can sort of measure up where you need to be. I don't know if you can hear the printers next door. There's usually a humming of the printing machines when I'm working, and often a profanity shouted when things go wrong. Okay, so they're the handles on there. Okay, we've got our bag, and I've made a tag earlier using the Cool Treats suite, and I'm going to pop the tag on my bag there. But first, you know me, I love my ribbon, so I'm going to use some Watermelon Wonder ribbon. Now, I always leave it attached to the reel, and I have the loose end on the right hand side. In fact, I'll put that there. I'm going to take right over left and start it. I don't think that's quite long enough. Like I'm starting my shoelaces. Okay, and then I make 2 loops, pinch them together like that, and my thumb is in the middle there. The loop on the left is going to cross over the one on the right. That's going to push to the back and through this hole that my thumb was creating. And there I've got my ribbon. Now this ribbon is in the annual catalogue. It's not a new ribbon from the spring summer catalogue. I think we'll go like that and like that. Okay, and then I have some linen thread, which I'm just going to snip a bit off, and I'm going to feed it through my tag. And I'm going to tie that onto my bag. Tied it quite tight, so I'll have to be careful feeding that through. More haste, less speed. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to tie that on there. I like to have it not too, I like to have it hanging a little bit, so we'll do that. I tidied that up and I tuck that extra linen thread actually behind the bow. There you have the tag, and there you have a lovely big bag for a gift. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hope you'll have a go at making one. Please do share them with me if you have a go at making one. Thank you for watching. Bye.